What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Your boy, the Dreadman, is back with the DreadMan Sports Podcast. I'm your host, and I'm here with my boys, Flip and Wazatov, my very, very dedicated co-host to the show. Once again, this is the finale of the NBA of the NFL podcast. So I want to thank y'all guys for co-hosting with me. Thank you, guys.
Son.
Yeah, what's going on, son?
Man?
Yeah.
What's happening with you, man?
Sure, not much, man. Just about to chop it up. We about to go over the NFC and AFC Championship games, and then we're gonna predict the winner for the Super Bowl. Now let's get into this. Let's get into the NFC Championship first. Wow. Now this game, I called it. I called the winner of this game, but I did not expect it to be that much of an ass whooping. But I think the thing is with this game, I think we learned a couple of things. The main thing that we learned was, well, I want to know what y'all's opinion is, because I could be reaching when I say this. Do y'all think that that because of what happened the week prior, that it showed that the Vikings got exposed, that it showed that they really did not belong there? What do y'all think?
I think it showed that we weren't paying attention to the Vikings a lot in these last few weeks. Because if you go back and if you actually watch those games, you kind of realize that Vikings defense was a little lackluster, and we were just kind of like going off of what they've done overall in the entire season. But the last few weeks are kind of like that part we should have been paying attention to. Or at least I should have when I made my prediction.
Yeah. All right, son, what do you think?
They let me down, man. They made me look like a clown last week. You know what I'm saying? But their defense, they didn't show up. You know what I'm saying? Like they could have still been riding off the house, being too excited about, like you said, that one play. You know what I'm saying? Getting caught up and wrapped up in the moment. Because you see, it was like they wasn't even on the field for the majority of the game.
Yeah.
It was like they scored. They went out. They scored in the first half, and they were gone. It was like, where'd they go? So, it was a good win for Philly, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm still like a root for them in the Super Bowl.
We'll get to that. But yeah, Walter, what do you think? Do you think it was just the fact that, could you blame it on inexperience? Like, they haven't been, the fact that, the Vikings have never been there before. Can you use inexperience as an excuse for losing? What do you think, Walter?
I don't know if you can say that. How much more inexperienced were they than the Eagles were?
Because here's the thing. Because it's a whole different ball game when you're in the playoffs. Of course, they did good enough to get there in their the playoffs, it's something that Nick Foles has actually done before. He's been there before. He might have came up short, but he's been there, because playoff football is a hell of a lot different than regular season football. Regular season football is just good enough to get you there. And the thing is, he hung with Drew Brees. He hung with Drew Brees for the first 3 quarters, and then he actually pulled it out. So the thing is, I guess you kind of can use inexperience as a crutch, but then again, like I said, that whole thing might have been a fluke. So, you could just toss that up in the air.
Foles is more experienced, I guess, than Keenum, like, overall in his career. Like, Foles has played more games. I think he only has, like, one more playoff start, if I'm not mistaken, than Keenum. I want to say maybe one or no more than 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it was just a complete like kind of like air out of the balloon from the high they had from the week before. I looked at it, and you could take it one of 2 ways. You could take it as the way they beat the Saints last week. You could have said that was either like a sign that everything is falling into place for them, and this is like kind of like their season, like when sometimes teams catch magic and lightning in a bottle, whatever it is, and everything just falls their way, and you could have looked at it that way. Or you could have looked at it like, wow, this team just had this team just had such an incredible victory, and in the fashion that they did, that they're going to come out completely flat in the following game. And lo and behold, we have the ladder. Like after that first score, if they were just flat after that interception, that pick 6, it was just completely flat. Like the air was out of the tires. Like it was almost like they could not, they couldn't get back up for the game, because once you get, they basically in Minnesota the week before, it's kind of hard to get back up for a game right after that because they literally they kind of literally celebrated at the end of that game like it was a Super Bowl victory, but it wasn't. It was just a divisional round victory. You still had 2 more to go, and they kind of
they blew the gas tank out. Yeah,
they blew the gas tank out, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what happened in my opinion.
Yeah, as opposed to good Eagles. We already know that the Eagles are for real, and at this point, you can't really ask for too much of a better quarterback or a backup quarterback than Nick Foles. And in the offseason, the Philadelphia Eagles have got a choice to make, and I think that choice will be easier to make if the Eagles don't win a Super Bowl. Now, first Flip, then Son, then Walter Top. I want to know what you guys' opinion on this is. If you're the Philadelphia Eagles head coach, what do you do next year? Do you start Nick Foles or do you start Carson Wentz? Flip, you first.
Well, before I answer that, I wanted to say, since we're talking offseason, Chase Keenum lost a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did.
But with the Foles situation, I think you trade him.
What, really? I don't think you trade him.
There's a clause in his contract where if he's still on the team by February of 2019, he'll become a free agent. So trade him now, get some assets from him because he's hot right now. How many teams need a quarterback? And they're just being like, oh, damn, Nick Foles just, lit up that Vikings defense. He's looking like a playoff quarterback. We can use him. So, you could probably get, like, Jimmy G. Surprised that you probably get, like, Jimmy G takes off of it for, like, a second rounder for Nick Foles, and you still got Carson Wentz. We could say Carson Wentz injury was a fluke, so I would trade him before he becomes a free agent and dips for, like, $18 million somewhere else.
Yeah, but in my personal opinion, I think you don't. Because we've all seen what happens when you trade. In the NFL, nothing is guaranteed. You never want to put all your eggs in one basket because you could trade Nick Foles for a huge wad of money. Then Carson Wentz goes down again. Now you're up shit's creek without a paddle. But Son, what do you think? Do you trade him? Do you start him? Or do you bench him?
I'm sticking with Wentz. You know what I'm saying? We went out there and drafted him. We made him the face of the franchise now. The Nick Foles situation, I'm going to try to put him out there and see what I can get for him. Why not? You got to. Just like the man said, you know what I'm saying? Like, why not? He's striking while you got to strike while it's hot. You feel me? Like, who knows what you can get out of that deal? Or it could come back and bind you in your ass. He could end up playing you 2 times a year and burning you up. So it could go either way. But for them as an organization, try to get for him.
Right.
He's been sat on the bench the past 2-3 years.
Yeah. Apparently he's been cooking, but we'll see. But yeah, Wazatov, what do you think? Do you trade him? Do you bench him, or do you start him next year at Wentz? Wentz or Foles? Yeah.
All right. So I think obviously I think Wentz will start next year. Now the only thing is if Foles somehow wins the Super Bowl, you trade him for sure. If he wins the Super Bowl, you trade him. Wentz is the future. You saw what we've seen with Wentz. We all know Wentz is legit. We all trust Wentz. I think we all trust Wentz a lot more than Foles. If Wentz was starting in this game, I think a lot of us would look at the Super Bowl a lot differently than if Foles was starting. Even with the way Foles played last week. However, if Foles goes out and actually beats the Patriots, you're never going to get a higher value for him than you would after that. And plus, there's no way that you could keep Foles on the bench with him being a Super Bowl champion starting behind Carson Wentz. Wentz would be looking over his shoulder the entire season, knowing that he basically has a Super Bowl quarterback, the guy that took his team and ran with it. That would cause a lot of unusual and unnecessary stress and drama, I think. And everyone will be talking about it. As soon as Wentz has a bad 2-game stretch, you would have everyone in Foles' ear saying, "Hey man, that should be you out there." So I think a lot of it rides on how well the Eagles perform in the Super Bowl. But regardless, I think Wentz should start. If Foles loses the Super Bowl, I think you maybe hang on to him. I think he's making about $6 million. I don't think that's too bad to have, especially if this injury thing might be. You don't know how Wentz is going to look next year. So maybe it's a good idea to have him on the bench. But regardless, I think Carson Wentz is the quarterback going forward.
Yeah. Now, I agree with starting Wentz. I agree with that. But I think that if you're the Eagles, you keep Foles. I'm sorry, you do, because when trash-ass Kevin Cobb, I'm pretty sure y'all remember him for the Eagles, he was garbage. But, I mean, Nick Foles was the saving grace from 2013 to 2015. Well, actually, you know what? But then he kind of, had a bad season. But, I mean, 2014, 2013, Nick Foles was pretty damn good. And then last year, they decided to go out and get Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz is pretty much, he breathed new life into them. So, like I said, I think you start Wentz next year, but I think you hang on to Nick Foles because, I mean, he is that extra bullet in the chamber, if you know what I mean. Like I said, the NFL is a league where you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You never know what could happen. An injury could happen, something else, some kind of outside force can happen where Carson Wentz could get in trouble or something like that. He don't really seem the type of guy who would do something like that. But, I mean, with the way things are going now with celebrities, the allegations and stuff, you never really know. But, yeah, I say that you pretty much hold on to Nick Foles. And one more point that I got to – yeah.
Now, let me ask you, what two-quarterback system in the NFL works?
It's rare that a two-quarterback system in the NFL works. It is very rare because, well, you got to think about it because Nick Foles and Carson Wentz are not really all that different. They don't really – I mean, the thing is the quarterback scheme, it works perfectly for both of them because, like I said, at this point in the season, you can't ask for a better backup quarterback than Nick Foles right now.
And if he wins a Super Bowl, he's not going to want to be no backup quarterback, and you're not going to be able to ask him to be no backup quarterback. He's going to want to go somewhere and get some money.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but the thing is, what do you want? I mean, the thing is, you could apply this to the NFL, the NBA, or whatever. What do you want? Do you want another ring, or do you want more money? Just ask Kevin Durant. Ask LeBron James. Ask damn, I can't think of his name right now. But you get the point. What do you want? Do you want the money, or do you want the ring? You got to choose.
Yeah, do you want to play? Or do you want a chance to even compete for that ring? See, in the NFL, it's way different than the NBA.
Yeah.
There's more players. There's less time. There's less chances for you to make them opportunities. He ain't getting no younger.
Yeah.
He been sat on the bench the past 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
He tired of sitting on the bench, and after he got this little rush of winning too, man, he want to be on somebody's field. He want to be on somebody's system. He want to be playing. He not gonna sit and feel it. And if you do sit and feel it, and they don't get nothing for him, it's gonna be a miserable situation for him.
But Nick Foles is not a diva. He's not a diva though. Nick Foles ain't a diva. If he was one of these diva-ass quarterbacks, then I'll understand where you're coming from. But he's not. He's actually a humble guy. But like I said,
okay, I would say it's not about being a diva. It's just when you're a quarterback, you want to play, especially after this.
Yeah.
You're going to light up the Vikings.
He's going to want to play.
Yeah, and even if he loses against Tom Brady, if he goes up there and puts up a fight, teams are going to be looking like, okay, Brady's going to retire in a few, maybe a year or two. So, we could bring you in, the Jaguars. They would love Nick Foles.
Oh yeah.
Come on, man.
Definitely.
I call that the Alex Smith.
Oh yeah, the Alex Smith effect. You make a good point. The Alex Smith effect.
He's not going to sit behind that guy, man. The guy came and took the starting spot from him. How much more longer do you think he's going to sit behind that guy, just patiently, just chilling, waiting his turn for that man to get hurt again?
You got me. I mean, me personally, if it was me, I'd gladly take that $12 million a year just to sit on the bench. I mean, of course you can make more money somewhere else, but then if you go somewhere else, what if you get hurt? Y'all got to keep that in mind. Y'all got to keep all these different factors in mind. He could take an $18 million a year, contract.
You got to think. See, with that $18 million, he's not getting all of that. You got to think of all the incentives and bonuses that was added in his contract for him to produce. He's not producing, sitting on the sideline.
Yeah, that's true.
So he probably getting that base couple $1 million paid to sit on the bench that's going to run up in a couple months.
His contract right now is $18 million, but he'll probably only see 12 of it.
No, they'll probably drop him after 2019 season.
That's what I'm saying.
But he's always listed as active though.
They're gonna get rid of him. They're gonna get rid of him. They're gonna trade him. He's on the trading block. They're working it out right now. He's on the trading block. They're talking it up right now.
Yeah, like I said, it depends on how he performs in the Super Bowl. It really does depend. I mean, like I said, we'll get into that in a second.
We're trying to figure out where that man going right now.
Where do we see him go? Well, with the draft, with the draft coming up, that really does make it hard because let's see, the Arizona Cardinals, they need to run it. They need a quarterback, but I think that what's his name, plays for Ohio State. I think he's going to go to the Cardinals. Damn, I can't think of his.
You talking about Barrett? I don't think Barrett.
Yeah, I
don't think they're going to draft it. I don't think they're going to draft the quarterback out there in Arizona because Arizona, they're not really big on drafting quarterbacks. They're not really big on going with quarterback.
They better draft him if they know what's good for him. They better draft a damn quarterback because Carson Palmer's not there no more.
If they know what's good for them, they'll trade for somebody like Nick Foles or Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford is good. Oh yeah, you make a good point because Sam Bradford and Teddy Bridgewater, the Vikings is juggling 3 different quarterbacks right now because Sam Bradford, he did okay in his starting season when Teddy Bridgewater got hurt. In Teddy Bridgewater, he made it into the playoffs in his first and second year, even though he got knocked out. He got knocked out in the first round by Seattle. So yeah, you got to figure out what you're going to do with them too. Oh yeah, but yeah, you got to figure out what you're going to do with Teddy Bridgewater. You got to figure out what you're going to do with Teddy Bridgewater, and you got to figure out what you're going to do with Sam Bradford for the Vikings.
See, that's what I'm saying. I think we're getting rid of Bradford easily because they don't got no ties there. They didn't draft him. They didn't really trade for him, and then they picked him up.
Where was he at before? Where was Sam Bradford at before? He was
the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams. Oh yeah, hell no. He's definitely not going back to the Rams. Hell no.
He didn't he do a short stint with the Eagles?
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
So yeah, the thing is that Sam Bradford's got options. He's decent. He really can't go somewhere. Teddy Bridgewater, I'm not that sure about. I think Teddy Bridgewater would be a reliable second stringer. He would be a reliable backup. That's what now. If you're the Vikings, here's what you do: you start Case Keenum, you trade Bradford, and you keep Bridgewater on the bench. If you're the Vikings, that's what you do. What do y'all think about that?
That's about what I was thinking.
So I was gonna say you let them both compete.
Oh.
You let them compete.
But yeah, you let them compete in the training camp, but I hope Bradford's gonna win it out again.
Yeah, like I said, Bradford's value, his value might be higher somewhere else though. It might be. Like I said, he's not going back to the Rams. I'm sorry.
See what Bradford adds him out is he has experience. That's where he adds him out. He has experience. He made smarter decisions with the football because of knowledge. I don't think that as far as being an athlete, he would beat him out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because see,
they bring in, because the current one's going to get hired, for head coaching jobs. So I guess, the offensive coordinator is going to have a big say as to who he likes. We don't know. Depending on who we know who that is, we're not going to be sure who they're going to lead.
Right. All right. Now, one final point before we move on to the NFC Championship review. Now, just right quick. Like I said, it was 38-2. The final score was 38-7. Now, just right quick. Good Eagles or bad Vikings? Flip, Wazatov, and then Son.
Oh man, I want to go with good Eagles.
All right.
I don't know. This Vikings defense was supposed to be, a standout for us, and the road's closed, and Trey Wayne's on the other side. I don't know, man. I felt like it happened. It's just Zach Ertz showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said before, Torrey Smith wasn't going to do shit. Aguilar wasn't going to do shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be Ertz and Alshon. If they showed up, the Eagles might be a problem. And
Yeah, and Aguilar was the icing on the cake. Aguilar and Ajayi were the icing on the cake. So, and they both put in work.
Don't forget, Torres had a touchdown.
Oh yeah, he did.
that flea flicker in the corner, man. Yeah, the only way he gets anything is the flea flicker.
Yeah, I was like, it ain't no way in hell this place gonna work. Then I was like, oh my God, it worked. Like, when you get a comfortable lead, you start pulling plays out of your ass, and they start working.
Yeah, he was clicking on all cylinders, man. And I think Beckers in that first quarter kind of made it really difficult for the Vikings to play the defense they wanted to play. Because even Alshon was getting catches. I was surprised for that. Usually he's just the red zone threat.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got to give it to the Eagles, man. They went out there and showed that. So yeah.
All right, son. Good Eagles or bad Vikings?
I'm gonna say even mixture of both, but the Eagles can play, so I'm gonna go with the Eagles, I guess.
Mm.
The bad Vikings. No, I'm gonna say horrible Vikings.
Oh.
I'm not gonna say bad Vikings.
Oh.
I'm gonna say horrible.
Oh.
Man, the defense, man, they didn't show up. They were now back, man. The defense did not show up. I can't believe that, man.
Mm.
Like, I don't know. They left me looking crazy, man.
Mm.
I feet all in my mouth.
Yo.
I had to score the total opposite.
I'm glad I didn't. Jesus. Yeah. All right, Wazatov, who do you think? Good Eagles or bad Vikings? Or hell, even a little bit of both. But yeah, what do you think mainly?
I think mainly good Eagles. I don't think anything. I mean, Foles played out of his mind. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think the Vikings were without Rhodes for a good portion. I think he got injured early in the game, also the first or second quarter. But I think that was kind of I think that kind of contributed to the poor showing on Minnesota. And then just that pick six. I think that pick six just swung momentum in their way, and then in that stadium, there was just like a big wave of momentum, and then it was just the Eagles just rode it. The Eagles rode it for all it was worth. And something special happened in that stadium, and I just think it was a great performance. Everyone was doing their part. I mean, all the receivers were making plays, and you know what I mean? Like, I mean, Ajay had a decent game.
Yeah.
Corey Clement had a couple big plays. LeBlanc scored a touchdown. I mean, everything was clicking on all cylinders until that defense was there. So yeah, I think it was really good Eagles. In this game, and they've been good. They've been good all season. I mean, it was just the quarterback shift obviously led us to think. I mean, if Wentz was playing in this game, we would all probably expect the Eagles to win. I mean, he would have been a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
I think we put a lot on Wentz, and we forgot that it's a team sport, and the squad overall has been pretty good this season. So yeah, hats off to them. I think it was good Eagles.
All right. Now, on to the AFC side, the AFC Championship. Now, I called this game. I said that the Patriots were going to win by 7 points, and I was hoping that I was wrong about this game. And this is a shame, and it really does hurt me to say this. Unless your name is Manning, you are not going to beat no damn Tom Brady in the postseason. Well, actually, you know what? Only 2 other quarterbacks have done it. Mark Sanchez, when he was playing for the New York Jets, and Joe Flacco in the AFC Championship back in 2012. But other than that, if your name ain't Peyton or Eli Manning in the postseason, you forget about beating Tom Brady. Because Ben Roethlisberger is what? In the postseason, he's what, 0-3, 0-4 against Tom Brady and the Patriots? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody look that up. Because I think he's like 0-3, I believe. But yeah, I mean, right to the point. The Jacksonville Jaguars played damn near the perfect game against them. I mean, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They did everything they were supposed to do. Let's see, they paced themselves. They scored. They milked the clock. The running game was there. The defense was on point. But here's the thing. They blew their gas tank out. They they had the perfect game plan going for the first 3 quarters, then they crapped out in the 4th quarter. Or you could just say that Tom Brady and the Patriots are that damn good. Now, of course, there was a couple of penalties that the Patriots got away with, and y'all should know better. Y'all should know better than that the penalties that the Jaguars got away with in the Steelers game. Y'all know damn well they're not gonna get away with that in the Foxborough. And I was arguing with this about my boy. Shout out to my boy Jeffrey Ham on Facebook. But when he said that the Vikings were pretenders and they didn't belong there, I'm like, well, you can't really blame them because they didn't show up. And the thing is, you can say the same thing about you can say the same thing about any of the teams that lost. I mean, because of course you can say the same thing about the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville especially when experience comes into play. The Vikings were inexperienced, and so the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like I said, you can kind of use inexperience as an excuse for them losing, but they've done so good in the postseason, you kind of can't. But at this point in the season, it's like, I mean, of course you're going to show up. The Vikings got to show up. It's the AFC Championship. It's in Foxborough. It's either you show up or you get your ass blown out. You get the dog walked on you by, Tom Brady's going to carve your ass up. But, and I mean, I thought that when Gronk went down, I'm like, oh boy, this is it. This is where the Jags going to really put the foot on the Patriots' neck and finish them off. I was like, man, if anybody can beat them at home, it's probably the Vikings. It's probably the Jags with the defense. Blake Bortles made a couple of bum throws, a couple of penalties, and of course, you don't want to make no mistake with Tom Brady on the other side of the ball. But I mean, all in all, I mean, like I said, I gotta say, I mean, that's the one game I was hoping I got wrong. But hey, I mean, terrific Tom. He pulled it out of Foxborough again. But Flip, what is your overall recap of that game? What do you take from seeing what you saw with that game?
I thought the Jaguars had it, and I think they would have had it, but the final,
4 minutes. It was the final 4 minutes.
No. I'm not talking about the end of the game. I'm talking about the final, 2 minutes and 48 seconds of the 2nd quarter. I think that's where the game really changed. Because first, you had that pass interference call.
Yeah.
It was really sketchy. The second one against Jalen Ramsey, that one was fine. But that first one, that's where the momentum changed, because the Patriots would have went into they would have went in 14-3 or something like that.
Yeah.
14-3.
14-3.
Yeah. So it was a questionable call, and then it's why is defensive pass interference so penalized so heavily? Why isn't it just 15 yards still? I get that you're trying to. I don't know. It's just Tom Brady did do a prayer. It wasn't even get Brady to Xfinity. It's defensive pass interference, 30 yards.
But he knows what to do. He knows if you go up against a defense like that, they're gonna bite on that. They're gonna he's gonna throw it into the vicinity of any kind of running back that's in double. Any receiver that's in double coverage, because he knows that they're gonna draw some kind of a penalty. So Tom Brady's got quarterback IQ for being able to read that. They're like, oh man, maybe if I throw the ball in the direction of a receiver, maybe they're gonna draw a flag. So yes, he actually has a good IQ.
That's fine. So it's just like when a quarterback sees a defensive player go outside and he comes the ball on a quick penalty.
Yeah, exactly.
But it shouldn't be 30 to 39 yards. It should be 15. But that's just a cop out. And they wouldn't have scored on that drive probably, or they wouldn't have scored 7. They probably would have scored 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that kills so much momentum for the defense. And then the Jaguars not even trying to go down the field and score again because they don't trust Bortles.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you're killing the entire momentum. And then you go into the half and it's just your team's kind of questioning. And I feel like that kills the entire drive, and the second half it got blown up.
Yeah.
Yeah, how would you feel as the starting quarterback and you get the ball back, you got enough time to move the ball, and your coach says, hey, no, we're going to call 3 kill plays, and you go tell them the locker room. You don't got no faith in me to put no points up going into the half, or to even move the ball. You kill your own team morale. You even got to think about how the defense even looks at it. We got to carry him again for the rest of the game. So, it was like you got to play perfect when you play the Patriots. There's no other way to beat them other than playing perfect. Just like I said last week, they got a great system. You got to play damn near perfect. Like, you can't have those, oh, the game was decided by a couple what-if penalties or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta play damn near perfect, and when you beat them, you got to beat them by at least 10 points.
Right.
Like, you can't have any close games with them. It can't be it's a one possession game and Brady gets the ball with 4 minutes left, or you can't play them type of games. Like, they're too good of a team. They believe in themselves too much.
Yeah.
They believe in that system.
And when you play them, you're right. The number one thing you have to do is pace yourself. Pace yourself. One, you don't want to start too late, because the Pittsburgh Steelers made that mistake last time. It was too little, too late when they got started. And the Jacksonville Jaguars made the opposite mistake. They started too fast. They blew their gas tank out too early, and then it ended. So yes, when it comes, the thing is, the main thing you play them is that you got to march down the field, you got to pace yourself, and you got to milk the hell out of that clock. Also, the main thing is keep the ball out of Tom Brady's hands as much as possible. That's what the hell that you want to do. If you don't do any of that, then it's gonna be a long night, and the Patriots are gonna break your heart yet again. But yeah, Walter Tom, what do you take from the Jaguars and Patriots game?
So I agree with what two gentlemen before me talked about. For one, when Brooke commented about that game swinging in the last 2 minutes and 48 seconds, I think, of the first half.
Mm-hmm.
That, first of all, you can't get a delay. You can't get a delay of game penalty after a timeout. But that's just terrible coaching and terrible part on Blake Bortles is that, like, you have to get that play off. But that completely swung it where they went from completing a third down and being kind of in range for a field goal, potentially another touchdown, where you might be up, 21-3 at the half. And I mean, 21-3 at the half, I would, even with Brady out there, as long with the Jags confidence and stuff, that would have been kind of a hard hole to dig out of. But to have that delay of game and then having to get the ball back, yeah, you could have got these 3, but now you get the ball back, and then you have those couple penalties. Obviously that hit on Gronk, where Gronk didn't even catch it. Like Gronk dropped the ball before he even got hit.
Yeah.
Like, they showed it several times in slow motion. He wasn't even making the catch, and then he got tackled, and it was kind of sucks. But guys can't really pull up like when they're in the motion of taking the tackle. So I understand that. And then he had that dump penalty called on Cook, where Cook was kind of got pushed out of bounds. He got held, and I don't even know if Boye would have kept up with them. I mean, I don't even think that would have been a hard test to make if he had just played it on us. But I just think the separation was essentially coaching. Like what Funk was saying earlier. They were running. The Jags were running the ball. Like, they were running plays with like 5 to 9 seconds left on the play clock. Like, they weren't trying to run the clock down to like 1 or 2 seconds at all. And it's like when you got a lead and you got a good running game. And they were playing the way the offense was looking the first like quarter and a half, where they were doing a lot of just like short pass plays and play action and just pounding the ball. Like, that was perfect. That was like, wow. It really kind of made you think, like, this offense looks kind of good, and if they can kind of keep this going, the Patriots are going to be in trouble. And then for some reason, the Patriots started figuring it out, and then after that, the Jags had no answer for it. And I think I forgot the guy's name. I don't know who that made that tip, that pass deflection on third down, or no, fourth down.
Yeah.
Gilmore?
Yeah, Gilmore.
Yeah. He even said something like that was like they ran that play already, and he said so they knew what was happening. And I think this comes down to coaching. Like, Belichick, that's the greatest coach ever. And unfortunately, like Doug Marrone, like he had some mental slips, and he couldn't take advantage of a couple of things, and couldn't like get Blake to settle down and get a game plan going to where, first of all, run the play clock down as much as you can with this lead we got. And then second of all, like they would run the ball on first down, and then they would throw it. They'd run the ball off from shotgun a lot.
Yeah.
And then they would do the thing where they would throw it deep on second down. It's like, no, what you do is you try to get yourself into a manageable third down, because you can't keep putting Blake Bortles in like a third and long situation. That's not good.
Yeah, because they was doing run. They did run, play action. Run, play action. That's what the hell they were doing. I noticed that a lot too.
Yeah, and then again, that was first quarter and a half, and then the Patriots kind of figured it out. The Jags couldn't adjust, and Belichick is one of the best in-game adjusters ever. So it's I think it all just shows like that the Patriots organization, their system, it's top notch. Belichick is just too good at coaching, and Brady, of course, would give it time, even without Gronk. When I found out Gronk was not coming back in the game, I thought it might have been a wrap. And I don't know how Brady's going to pull it off without Gronk. And then he and him and Amendola just took care of it. That rate, it was unbelievable. But
another thing to add on to that was about the coaching difference. When Amendola caught in the back end zone, a lot of people were saying, why not just push the dude out? You're watching it. Like, there was a player watching the ball at the back.
He didn't want to risk a penalty because you got to watch. No. The thing is, do you want to risk it in Foxborough? I understand, but in Foxborough, do you want to risk that? No, you don't. You don't want to risk that in Foxborough.
Man, dude, you got to make that play. You have to push him out of bounds. See, they have tightened up on the rules.
But the thing is, he had him. He didn't need to push him out of bounds because he had him boxed out. He was in front of him. You don't need to push somebody out of bounds. To me, if he's boxed out, yeah.
I got to relook at that. I thought he was in a position to push him out.
No, you got to box. You can box him out. He made that needle in the thread kind of catch.
In that position, you make that play. You push them out of bounds.
But it's a jump ball. But at that point, son, it becomes a jump ball. You know that the pass is coming, so you can time it. Especially if you're in front of him, you got better timing than he does.
Even if it's a jump ball, you still shield him. You put your body in front of him and you shield him furthest to the sideline. They teach you this, man. This is basic jump ball situation. You put them to the back sideline, the back of the end zone, so that when they do come down, they're out of bounds. Like you space yourself. I can't call it. You make simple mistakes sometimes in the heat of the moment, but it is what it is. Like that's a no-no. That's a no bueno. You know that you don't do that.
Yeah.
You can't allow a catch on the back of the end zone. As far as you go back, it's always been told, use the sideline. Push them out of bounds. You can put your hands on them, but as long as they touch the ball, you can put your hands on them.
Yeah, unless you think the Patriots really had the reps in the back, and some bullshit might have got thrown. Yeah, you're right. You should have pushed them out of bounds.
Even then, if you do, they can't call it a touchdown. They got to give them first and goal.
They was gonna give it to him regardless. We all know that.
Y'all saw the refs high-fiving.
Yeah, I was gonna ignore that. I was gonna bring that up into the Super Bowl prediction, but yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah,
I wanted to ask to see if anybody's seen the play clock go back for Tom Brady.
Oh yeah, I seen that. That's one of the things I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm tripping, or maybe did they like take like 15 seconds on the play clock, or am I tripping?
Nah, you wasn't tripping. I seen it. They laid you down to 10, and then he somehow got another 15
seconds. Yeah, I knew I wasn't going crazy. I'm like, yeah.
I think what that is, because I was reading, it's the refs put the ball down, and then Brady called for them to they have to put it back at 25 seconds.
But you can't. That ain't no run. But they said that it ain't supposed to be no 10-second runoff. It's not supposed to be.
Because you have 40 seconds to call your play, and the ref's supposed to put the ball down and give you, I think, like it sets it like 25 whenever the ref puts the ball down. So you have 25 seconds to snap the ball, but you have, I think, 40 seconds once the play is dead. It was something around that. And you get 40 seconds once the play is dead.
Mm-hmm.
So 40 seconds. The ref had to put the ball down until that 10-second mark. And Brady, he saw him gesture real quick, like, "Yo, put the extra 15 seconds."
So, yeah.
Just put the ball down.
Yeah, man. But I mean,
but you don't see that anywhere else in the league.
Yeah, you're right. You don't see it. Yeah, you're right. You don't.
You don't see it nowhere else.
It's a little catch out. But always been good at using the rules.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's good. That's what they help right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And one more thing, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I got give it up for James Harrison. I mean, yeah. I mean, that man is clutch. He makes sacks whenever they count. Give it up for James Harrison. Like I said, he's a Patriot now. I mean.
I was looking at that. How did he come in free? How did you let a 40-some-year-old man come in free off the edge? That was crazy.
I mean,
see, what I want to say is, I wonder how the Steelers feel about that, though.
They definitely feel. As a fan, I mean, as a player, I can only imagine. I mean, because as a fan, I feel dumb about it. Because me and my dad said this. They said that, well, James Harrison is like that. Yeah. But the thing is, we wanted to. I thought this is what I thought that the Steelers were going to do this season. I thought that we were going to specifically save James Harrison for the playoffs. Let him get in a couple of plays just to keep him warmed up, and then and let him coach like the younger running back. I mean, let him coach the younger linebackers like Bud Dupree and T.J. Watt. But all in all, James Harrison, he's like that fine wine, or he's like that show car that you keep in your garage. You only bring him out for special occasions.
Where you got him on the TV 12 method, man. You got him rejuvenated.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, but yeah,
This is a little off topic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they just got rid of Todd Haley, right?
They did.
Do we feel like Mike Tomlin's got maybe like 1 or 2 more years left to not make it to at least the championship game?
No, I don't think he's going anywhere because Mike Tomlin.
I think if he don't get to the NFC Championship, he's out of there, man.
I don't think so because Marvin Lewis still kept his job. And look at this. In the entire Pittsburgh Steelers history, check this out. The Pittsburgh Steelers have only had 3 coaches in the past 40 years, and Mike Tomlin has been the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers since the 2006 season after Ben Roethlisberger won his first Super Bowl when stepped down from them.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
You threw Marvin Lewis out there, right?
Yeah.
How long do you think that they're going to go with this, hey, we got to be fair to these guys thing?
But look at this. How long do
you think that that's going to go on?
It's going to go on as long as they freaking want it to. Because Marvin Lewis has not won a damn playoff game. Marvin Lewis has been the head coach of the Bengals for 15 years, and he has not won a damn playoff game. Now, switch to Mike Tomlin.
Hold on.
Yeah.
He is also the most winningest Bengals coach.
I mean, that's not. What is that saying? That's not saying much. What is that? That ain't saying a damn thing. And look at Mike Tomlin.
They ain't saying a damn thing. But you got to think, if they ain't had nobody there half of what he is, why would they get rid of him?
All right, but let me answer that question with a question. Let me answer this question. Yeah, let me answer this question. What if you switch Mike Tomlin with Marvin Lewis? Do you think you get the same result? Put Marvin Lewis on the Pittsburgh Steelers and put Mike Tomlin on Cincinnati Bengals and give him the same weapons. Give him Roethlisberger. Give Marvin Lewis Roethlisberger.
Have a first-round draft pick, be the very first pick in the next year's draft.
I'm saying, but the thing is, do you think you get the same results if you give Marvin Lewis? But if you give Marvin Lewis Roethlisberger and you give Mike Tomlin Andy Dalton. Matter of fact, it's been.
If you send Marvin Lewis to Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh will be 2-14 next year.
Thank you. I mean, because look. Which Collins had three quarterbacks.
Don't change no personnel, none of that.
Yeah, because
you can go 2-14. Why? Because he don't manage games well. He's not known for his offensive scheme, putting up very much points, and he's not known for his defense either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is more of a special teams guy. But the difference is, look at Mike Tomlin's win-loss record. Out of Mike Tomlin's entire 12-year stint with the Steelers, he's only had an under 500 record once in 12 years. That worst record was 7-9. Every other year, he's either finished 11-5, 10-6, or 13-3. One of those every year.
And that's why I asked you. I was like, come on now, Marvin Lewis. Like, they celebrated that man for having a 9-7 season 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like you can't even. That's not even the same. That's not even a fair. She said, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, if Tomlin don't get to the NFC Championship and Ben retires on him, oh, they getting his ass up out of there.
I don't think they get it. I don't think his job is in danger. I don't think his job is in danger. I just think they might start, looking, because they didn't have this problem here when Dick LeBeau was there, or when Dick LeBeau was the offensive coordinator, because him and Todd Haley was butting heads alike.
The problem is they can't beat New England.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
And if y'all beat New England, he has no issue. He has nothing.
Exactly.
They can't say nothing about him.
Exactly, because look at the weapons. Look at the Pittsburgh Steelers' weapons. Yeah, I'm saying you're right, and there's no excuse for that, because look at the weapons that the Pittsburgh Steelers have. They have an unbelievable amount of weapons on offense.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. The top receiver and the top 10 quarterback, you should be in the championship.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm saying, and they're not gonna keep going for that. They're not gonna keep going for that. They're gonna get it out of there. So the greatest thing is 6 straight Super Bowls. And what is that?
That's what I said. Tomlin's gonna go 10-6, like this is playoffs to get fired. Marvin Lewis is gonna go 5-11, get a raise.
Anyway, you want another 5-year extension?
Oh, snap.
Marvin Lewis and cockroaches are the only thing that survivors to the Holocaust.
They got jobs carried out the ass. That's all I can tell you. But like I said, I mean, here's the thing. Mike Tomlin, he has a very, very good win-loss record. Guess what? He has a 75% win-loss record. For every 4 games he plays, he wins 3 of them. He is the second winningest coach in the league. Guess who the number 1 winningest coach in the league is right now? Bill Belichick.
Should be in a conversation with anybody. Don't take it alone.
But yeah, does Mike Tomlin want to be known? But does Mike Tomlin want to be known as just being under Belichick's foot? That's the only thing to separate him. It's just the only reason why you're not in the Super Bowl right now is just because Belichick is right above your head. Does Mike Tomlin?
No. The reason he's not in the Super Bowl right now is he couldn't get past Blake Bortles.
Well, you know what? That's neither here or there. That's this season. I mean, because everybody assumed that it was going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots in the championship. But no, they overlooked them, and that's what they get. And I hate to say that because I'm a Steelers fan. But, I mean, like I said, it's all water under the bridge now. They had 2 chances. They had 2 chances to win. Because guess what? Yeah. Big Ben is 6'5", 240.
Brady is 40 years old, quarterback sneaking.
I know. That's no excuse. Yes, there is. I mean, yeah, you do have to question the play calls. But like I said, I think I said this in the last video. The last time that what's called ran a quarterback sneak was back in 2014.
And he's one of the best at it.
Yeah, of course. Look at the size of him, and look at the line that the Pittsburgh Steelers have. They're like, no, we're not going to have Ben Roethlisberger jump, have him just fall forward with the ball and stretch forward. No. We're going to have Le'Veon Bell cut to the right side, knowing damn well how fast the Jaguars defense is or how fast the line is. No, we're going to do that. We're going to call a sweep. We're going to call a sweep run instead of having Ben Roethlisberger jump over the damn pile or him just, fall forward and stretch.
That's the same old line that has to start 5 seconds while Le'Veon Bell makes up his mind on which.
Thank you. You win tonight. You're the MVP for tonight for bringing that out. Thank you. Yeah, it ain't no excuse. I mean, the thing is, we'll see. Like I said, I've already got the schedule for next year for the Steelers, but we'll talk about that in one of our other future videos. Anyway, let's get right into our Super Bowl 52 prediction. The New England Patriots going up against the Philadelphia Eagles, and it is a Super Bowl 39 rematch. Look at it on paper. This is going to be a mostly offensive game. This is going to be like one of those gunslinger type of games, and it's going to be one of those games that actually come down to whoever has the ball, in the last 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. But think about it. You got Nick Foles. Like I said, I mean, it sounds a lot more easy. I know, son. It sounds a lot more easier than I'm making it out to be. But like I said, you got Nick Foles going up against Tom goddamn Brady. On paper, the thing is, look at that on paper. People underestimate Nick Foles. I really do. I don't really think that people are giving him the credit he deserves. Well, actually, you know what? After that Vikings win, people might not sleep on him anymore. And I think they might have needed people to sleep on him. People might, oh no, this is the Vikings. I mean, the Eagles have no chance. They're gonna get blown out by the Patriots. No. It's gonna. The thing is,
I ain't gonna say that people sleeping on him, but it's Nick Foles and Tom Brady.
Yeah. I mean,
like, I learned my lesson betting against Brady.
Mm-hmm.
So, as much as I hate to say it, I gotta go with the Packers.
But Super Bowls are where underdogs come alive. You gotta keep. I mean, the thing is, all right, son, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you this right now, and I want you to think really, really carefully before you answer this question. Think carefully. Would an Eagles win surprise you? Would you be shocked if the Eagles won? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Wow, really? Eagles win would not surprise. I wouldn't be surprised.
Hold on. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because just like y'all said about the Vikings team,
Mm-hmm.
they can be caught up in the moment. They can be caught up in the rush. Hey, we ain't never won no Super Bowl. We here now. You got to think, how many times have the Patriots been there in the past 10 years?
Yeah.
This is just another game to them. This ain't big to them no more. They do this. This is like, hey, we do this. They just punch the top. They emotions they hit this game the same way that Philly beat. And that is the X factor. It can go either way.
Good point.
But like I said, man, I'm not going to get Tom Brady. I can't do it.
Wow.
Every time I do it, he beat me bad.
Wow. So, yeah. But all right, Wazatov, Wazatov, who you got? Just matching up the weapons. I mean, on both sides of the ball. I mean, do you think it's going to be a mostly offensive game right here, or do you think it's going to be, whoever can make the most stops? But yeah, Wazatov, what do you think?
I don't know if it'll be an offensive game. I mean, okay, every game every Super Bowl the Patriots has been involved in has been a pretty close game. I think the highest scoring game the Patriots have been involved in was that Falcons Super Bowl last year.
Oh yeah.
And that's in part because they spotted the Falcons, 28 points, and they had to score 31. But every other game that was all relatively kind of close, but in the Giants early 20s.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, they're low-scoring games, and plus, I mean, the Eagles. I would be shocked as hell if the Eagles put up a lot of points because I think they're going to be tight in this game. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, Doug Peterson. I mean, he's been a phenomenal coach. Coach of the year candidate. And I'm sure he's going to try to get them as comfortable as possible. But it's going to be very difficult for that team to play and lose, at least in the beginning. Whereas the Patriots, like I said earlier, that I like the analogy punching a clock. That's how opposite they're in the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm sure they have an absolute a perfect routine for how they're going to handle these next 2 weeks, how they're going to handle media day, how they're going to handle the practices and walkthroughs and everything like that, and they're going to be as comfortable as possible. Will that translate to them being, efficient, putting up points? I'm not sure. I mean, it's going to depend on a couple things. It's going to depend on how healthy Gronk is. I like the Eagles' offense more than I like the Patriots' offense. I mean, in terms of the key players, the Eagles have more weapons across the board. It'll be very interesting to see what they can do with Ajay and Blunt in this game against that offense.
Right.
Against that
defense, yeah.
I mean, no one on the Patriots defense kind of scares me. I mean, I'm not looking at the Patriots defense like there's anyone that sticks out and stands out to me that's going to be a.
Yeah, because Malcolm Butler is good. Malcolm Butler's going to be matched up with Nelson Aguilar, and I think Malcolm Butler's going to get his ass smoked all game long.
Yeah, but then again, it's Nelson Aguilar in the biggest game of his life. I mean, you think he's not going to be nervous?
No.
I mean, would you,
no.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, would you? I'm saying, I mean, there's a lot of you going down the same thing I'm saying. I'm thinking, man, that's a lot of young guys on that Philly team. A lot of guys ain't never been there.
But it don't matter because now Nelson Aguilar has went up against better defenders than Malcolm Butler this year.
But you got to think. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying Aguilar missed open passes in regular season games.
But who hasn't? You can't use that as an excuse. Well, actually, you know what? Never mind. It's the Super Bowl, so yeah, you can use that as an excuse. Never mind.
Definitely get frustrated in the Super Bowl if you drop a pass and you sit there thinking, damn, that could have been the first down we needed to keep the drive going.
I watched him drop a pass against the Bears. He dropped a pass against the Bears, and he thought about it for like 3 straight possessions. Like you could tell he wasn't in the game. He wasn't even
because he don't usually drop passes. The reason why it bothers him because he don't usually drop passes.
He used to a lot.
Yeah, he used to, but now he doesn't.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Your personality don't change.
Yeah. But see, you also got Alshon Jeffries. Alshon Jeffries, here's the thing with him. He is not a deep threat. He is a slant and catch. I think right now he's got more yards after the catch than Nelson Aguilar does. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
I think he is another receiver another one of those guys had great years in certain systems. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, because he played for the Bears too, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he had you can't put a lot of trust in that guy.
No, I'm saying if you're throwing it to him, you have to trust him to go up and get the ball. You don't trust Alshon Jeffrey to get separation from the corner. But you just have to expect him to use his size and his jumping ability to get that ball.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. I think Foles might be a little bit better with it.
Yeah. All right, now our last questions before we actually make our pick for the Super Bowl. Wazzle, keys to victory if you are the New England Patriots. What do you do? How do you beat the Eagles? And same thing. What are the keys to victory for the Eagles? How do they beat the Patriots?
When I think of the Eagles, I think they should run a lot of 2 tight end sets with Burton and Ertz.
Yeah.
I think Trey Burton is an underutilized weapon. He only had like 1 catch in that Vikings game, but they didn't really need him that much. And take a little bit, give Patriots a little more of a different look instead of trying to force things down to Jeffrey downfield or Aguilar or whatever. And they got a different dynamic of running backs. They have Clement, who I think can kind of serve as like a slash, like kind of like their version of maybe like a James White, and do blunt and jive, kind of like for those short game runs, so the short yardage runs, and then when they need to convert a first or a first and goals, or when they're kind of in that goal line set offense. But unfortunately, I mean, I'm leaning the Patriots so heavy in this game. Like I want to look at the Patriots. Like, what do I think they got to do to win the game? I mean, I just think they essentially have to show up and just play within themselves. I mean, they don't have to do much in terms of what. I don't think the Eagles pose. I mean, defensively they've been great this season, but I just think the Patriots have the way their offense works. I just think the Eagles can't really capitalize or expose it. Like they're able. I mean, they didn't get. I mean, they got some pressure, but they only got like one sack against Casey in that game. Whereas I just look at the Patriots like Brady's going to be able to get that ball out of his hand quick. They're going to run a bunch of those quick screens to Lewis, James White, and it's going to be very, very difficult for the Eagles to hang with them like that. I just think Belichick he's gonna work that out. And if the Eagles have some sort of answer, Belichick's just going to go back to the drawing board either midway through the first half or after halftime, and the Patriots are going to give them a different look, and they might just end up running the ball. I mean, the Patriots, when you think you kind of figured them out, like they come out with completely different offense. Like if the Patriots came out there and Brady attempted like 20 passes and they just ran the ball like 30 to 35 times, it would be completely unexpected, but it could definitely happen. So I think the Patriots have way too much going for them, way too many options. I just think it's way too easy for them to win this game, to kind of narrow it down to what I think they need to win. For the Eagles, limit Foles. I mean, if Foles has any inclination of carrying over that performance from last week, then you try to ride it. You try to ride the hot hand as much as you can. But the second that Foles looks a little bit shaky, then you keep it simple. You run the rock, and you keep those short passes to the tight end, and you try to minimize as much as you can Brady being on the field.
All right, son, what do the Eagles have to do to win, and what do the Patriots have to do to win?
The Eagles, you got to play perfect, and you got to keep Brady off the field, and you got to score every chance you get. You have to put up points. Punt and missed opportunities, you won't kill them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they demoralize them and let you know that they're playing the Patriots. The same way we talk about the Patriots, in their mind, they're like, man, we're playing the fucking Patriots. Like, they were hoping they played Jacksonville. Like, not saying that they're scared of the Patriots, but come on now. Even there, you know the odds effect against you playing the Patriots. You got to play them, you got to play the Braves, and you got to play fair.
Right.
Like, the social media, all of it, if they can stay away from all that for the next 2 weeks and just focus on the playbook and not think about the Patriots, they'll be all right. Now, as far as New England, if they don't take the Eagles for chumps, like if they don't go there and slouch, that's all they got to do is win. They're going to win the game. If they don't take them boys lightly, like, just because they're going to go in there, they're going to have their business. Lunchfield, Tom Brady, and grab the lunchbox, he's going there and punch the clock. That's what he do. Oh, man, look at it. He wants they, and I think that even last week, like, they throw stuff in the media just to get you off the game so that they can focus more. Like, do you really think Tom Brady's hand was really hurt?
Yeah. I thought that was a distraction too. Yeah.
I think it was hurt, but it wasn't like game-ending hurt.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was just some little trickery just to play mind games. So that's what you got to think, man. Belichick plays mind games all the time. Like, look at it. I've done my research on you guys. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I said that system, they have a great system, and everybody believes in it. And that's what I'm saying. As long as you believe in your system, ain't nothing that y'all can't be beat. And I don't think that they're going to just beat the Eagles lopsided. I think it's going to be more like a 23-16 kind of game.
All right. Yeah. All right. Flip.
Like I said, it's going to be all based on time management. And they're going to both, because they don't really, even want to have explosive offense. Like, they just break off big chunks. If they just beat at you, and that's when the big plays happen. Then, do I see Tom Brady striking a 60-yard pass? Yeah. I think it's going to happen. Because the Eagles, they go up big plays. And you got to think, they're going to come out and hit Philly with something that they ain't seen before, and it's going to go for a big play. Do I see a couple big plays happening on New England? Yeah. Philly, not so much. I see them beating them and wearing them down 4 or 5 yards here and there, keep getting first downs, and just moving the ball.
Yeah.
But I don't see them just breaking off big chunks of yards. That's how I see it going down. I'd say 23-16 New England.
All right, Flip, keys to victory for both teams. Go.
All right, keys to victory for the Patriots. Keep Brady protected. Don't let Gronk in because he probably doesn't know where he's at right now. They've shown that they can win without Gronk. They've done it every damn near Super Bowl, basically. Yeah, I mean, their system is pretty flawless. They just need to operate it like the way they operate it. I mean, it's the Patriots. You don't really expect to say much about them. They don't need to do much. Just do their system correctly. That's it. The Eagles, though, I feel like they should just do what the Jags did. I feel like they should keep the passing short, running with the dragon blunt. But I think the difference maker is that instead of having Mercedes Lewis, they have Zach Ertz. And Zach Ertz can show that he can make that big play on second and third down to keep that clock going. And we saw what Keelan Cole did to that.
Yeah, Keelan Cole. Yeah, rookie.
I feel like Aguilar and Torrey Smith or whatever his name is. The dude that drops the ball all the time.
Oh, yeah.
If he can show up and catch the balls and keep it going, I feel like Foles is a much better quarterback than Bortles. I don't think that they have a Fournette type player, but I mean, we saw what TJ Yeldon did to that defense, so I feel like a giant blunt should be fine.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, the more I think about it, the Eagles could possibly win this out because, I mean, that defense, it doesn't have like any like surprising characters on it that you would think would show up, but they always show up at the right times and make the play. And the Patriots offensive line is like nasty. I mean, they had Brady over there looking like Eddie Gordo for a few minutes. So, yeah, I feel like I mean, the Patriots are probably going to win, but I mean, screw it. Let's go with underdog, 27-21.
All right. Now, keys to victory if you are the Philadelphia Eagles. On the offensive side of the ball, short slant passes and run the ball down their throats. You want to get 10 yards. All right, the thing is, you don't want a third down situation. You want to keep third down situations to a minimum. You do that by throwing short little slant passes and, run the ball down their throats. If you're Nick Foles, do not go for it long. Do not air it out because one, you're in danger of getting picked off, and two, that's going to stop the clock. Especially, I mean, because you don't want to be no 3rd and 11, 3rd and 15 situation, then have to air it out again because the Patriots are going to be expecting that. They're going to see it coming. And what's going to happen is he's either going to get picked off or he's either going to end up getting sacked. So, yes, if you're on the offensive side of the ball, short slant passes, screen passes, and running the ball down the throats. And also, take whatever, don't take unnecessary risks. Normally, against the Patriots, you got to play with no fear. You got to, get your hands dirty and take a risk every now and then. But this is a game where you don't want to risk it. You got to keep mistakes to a minimum. You got to play a damn near flawless game. On the defensive side of the ball, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but don't worry about sacking Tom Brady. Don't worry about it. I mean, you need to be, drop the linebackers, play them like 5 to 10 yards past the line of scrimmage, and get your D-backs to double cover all their receivers. Don't worry about getting to Brady. Don't worry about sacking him because then you're going to free up space where you can get burnt in the middle of the field. So don't do that. Now, if you're the Patriots on the offensive side of the ball, manage that clock. Of course, time management. Tom Brady, he just needs some time in the pocket to where he can, air out those 10 to 15-yard passes. Son was right. Tom Brady might, on the first drive, air it out 40, 50, 60 yards and, end up getting a completion. I've seen a couple of those plays happening. On the defensive side of the ball, they do need to rush Nick Foles. They do need to make him uncomfortable. Because Nick Foles, he hasn't been sacked a lot. And also, but the thing is, neither one of these teams really turn the ball over a lot. So one turnover for each team could be crucial. So neither team wants to really turn the ball over because your first mistake in the Super Bowl could be your last. Oh, man, do I want to play it safe or do I want to go for the glory? Because last week I played it safe and picked both of the favorites. Screw it. It's the Super Bowl. I'm gonna go with the underdogs. I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles, 30-27. Yep. I'm going with the underdog. But yeah, any of y'all fellas got anything y'all want to add before we sign out here tonight? Because this is an hour show. So and once again, thank y'all for helping me host the show. This show would not be possible without you guys.
Oh, no problem.
I didn't give a final score. Appreciate it again, Dread.
Yeah.
I didn't give a final score. I do have the Patriots winning in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be like a 6-point game.
Mm-hmm.
Probably I'm gonna say 26-20.
26-20. All right, that is very possible. Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, before we sign out tonight?
Shout out to who's coaching the Browns now, Todd Haley, I think.
Oh yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck. But yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Tell him I come play quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. All right, yeah. But yeah, anyway, yeah.
But I don't know, man. Hopefully Tom Brady proves he is a go.
Yeah, we'll see about that, man. Like I said, yeah. Normally, if your name ain't Manning, yeah, you are not his kryptonite. You ain't Tom Brady's kryptonite if your last name ain't Manning. But maybe we'll see something different.
Hey, it might be last name is Foles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, that'll wrap up this episode of the podcast. Thank you guys for watching. And Son, Flip, and Walls Top, thank y'all for hosting with me. I appreciate it, fellas. And we'll be back next week, or we'll be back the week after next for the recap of Super Bowl. We'll see you guys later on. Peace out.
Yeah.